Some final thoughts on some recent stuff that came out from this past draft. First off, ESPN's Jeremy Fowler reports that the final offer from Minnesota to New England to try to get pick 3 and 2 mid-round picks, the Vikings were offering picks 11, 23, and next year's first. It didn't take a rocket scientist to figure that out. We all knew that. It's exactly what we've been predicting all along. Ultimately, the Patriots rejected it. They wanted to get what they believe will be their quarterback of the future. Will Drake May be successful within the Patriots organization with the remaining holes that they have, specifically on the offensive side of the ball? We'll see, but time will tell which team came out with the better quarterback. I know that Minnesota has the much better situation, but I'm happy with what the Vikings did in this draft, and I'm ready to move on from that. Secondly, I saw Sean Payton do a cringeworthy troll job during the press conference saying that, well, I was responsible. I was the one giving out the illusion that we wanted to move forward and trade up with the New York Jets in order to get a quarterback. And it was like the Joker doing stand-up comedy, waiting for people to laugh. It was horrible. Yeah, because the quarterback that you ended up taking at pick number 12, a guy that you could have gotten 4 rounds later, yeah, that was totally your master plan, to give the illusion that you didn't want J.J. McCarthy at all. Sean Payton is a pompous ass. Last year, your first year as head coach in Denver, you could use Russell Wilson as a scapegoat. Fine. But now, when it goes to hell for a second straight year, you still don't have a quarterback. This time next year, both you, Sean Payton, and your GM, George Payton, will be fired. And I'm going to give a round of applause when that happens. Just a complete jackass, bro. Sco. Whatever. I'm off it. Now going to J.J. McCarthy, the development plan for him. Saw this from Kevin Seifert that the Minnesota Vikings are extremely wary about rushing J.J. McCarthy onto the field. All indications are that the team will begin training camp with Sam Darnold as the starter, which that's exactly the approach that you should have, not just for this rookie quarterback, but any rookie quarterback. This is a very delicate situation. You don't want to force it. You've got one shot at this thing to get it right, and you have to hit bullseye on that target. I remember years ago, an old show that used to be on ESPN, SVP, and Russillo, they interviewed Tom Brady. We're talking about the greatest quarterback of all time. And they asked him, hey, if you say you didn't get drafted by the Patriots, what do you think your career would look like right now? And he said, I'll never forget this. He said, I would probably be on my 4th or 5th team at this point in my career. This is the ultimate system league. It's not about, well, this player was super talented in college, so we're going to draft him, and that talent is automatically going to translate, and everything's going to be fine. No, you need the right culture. You need the right coaching staff. That quarterback needs have the right players surrounding him, offensive line, decent receivers, and that quarterback coming in so young, a rookie, needs to believe that you, the head coach, believes in him. So that way he's not, when he does get out there on the field and those mistakes that he was making in training camp, it's all right, wipe it off. This is what you need to learn from. No, the mistakes count against you now. He needs to believe that you, the head coach, believes in him. So he's not out there playing scared like a dog with his tail between its legs. The one thing I am looking forward to from this, because we saw tremendous growth from Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah as a GM this entire offseason, free agency and the draft. He more than made up for 2022. I'm excited to see if KOC can keep on that same trajectory as Kwesi. I have my serious doubts on if he'll ever be an elite play caller, but I do know that he set a culture to where players want to play for him. They don't want to let him down. And secondly, now we get the chance to see All right, you got your first round quarterback. What is he going to look like? It's on you now. Can you properly get this guy up to where, all right, we're set for the next 10 years? And the thing is, there's no one size approach to this. At the quarterback position, there's no one way to do it to where, okay, the light bulb goes off and you can put your franchise in cruise control. You're ready to rock and roll. You can say start that player right away by the time that the regular season begins, such as CJ Stroud, Joe Burrow. You can have that quarterback start mid-season, a bridge quarterback, which I would think, if anything, that's probably what's going to happen in Minnesota. Sam Darnold is going to be the guy. I mean, who knows? Maybe J.J. McCarthy just figures everything out during training camp and he starts week 1. But you could have a quarterback start mid-season, that rookie guy, have that bridge quarterback take over for the first couple of weeks, and then the new guy comes in, say Lamar Jackson to Joe Flacco. Or you could take the long approach, as in, hey, take a year or longer before he's actually ready. See Jordan Love. All of which, those examples, different approaches, all of which are successful right now. But if you mishandle this, you're screwed. Again, you got one shot at this thing. Man, Zach Wilson, everyone makes fun of him now, and say, oh, how could you take him with the second overall pick? Looking back in hindsight, bro, at BYU, Zach Wilson was a beast. You look at that film, and man, if he went to any other team but the Jets, any team with a competent offensive coaching staff, because you see him right now, he just looks sad. The confidence is completely shot. And man, you're going over to Denver now with this jackass Sean Payton as your head coach. Good luck with that. This dude was a beast, but guess what? It's over with. You can't, the mojo that he had coming from BYU, you can't recapture that. It's never going to be the same. You have rare instances, Geno Smith, Baker Mayfield, for example, but that's lightning in a bottle. Josh Rosen at UCLA. This man was picking defenses apart. Sure, he was cocky as hell, but the way the Cardinals treated him, they gave up on him after 1 year. And you can't recover from that. They traded him after 1 year to the Miami Dolphins. And after that, his career was finished. You got one opportunity to nail his trajectory, J.J. McCarthy, to be the guy. And they're not going to rush it. And like Kevin Seifert's reporting, they are extremely wary. That's the approach that you have to have. I trust KOC. For the doubts that I have in his play calling, I trust him on this. And not to mention the expansion of the report saying that they're going to have specific benchmarks for McCarthy that he has to meet before he can progress to the next tier and the next tier and so on, before ultimately he's the starting quarterback. Let's go after it. I think why I'm so confident in this is because of KOC, the reports earlier this offseason that he's delegating some of his weekly responsibilities to Wes Phillips, the offensive coordinator, in order for Kevin O'Connell to spend more time with the quarterbacks, Sam Darnold and now J.J. McCarthy. And add Josh McCown to the mix, I think J.J. McCarthy is in great hands. Don't force it. Let it come naturally. And this guy, he could be the real deal. We'll see.